Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. I want to follow up on the coverage from Greece. You all probably have watched my recent videos, so you know that for some unexplained reasons, a camp on the Greek island of Lesbos is no longer, and the 12 or 13,000 irregular travelers that found shelter there until that tragic event, they, of course, want to go to Germany or to other Western European or even Scandinavian countries. And the question is now what to do. So there is news from Greece and there are reactions from Germany. And I want to cover both these things in today's video. So, first of all, what news comes from Greece? What has happened there? Well, 5 of these irregular adventurers have been taken into custody and they are suspects now. They are said or they are accused to have torched the camp. They are from the Hindu Kush, so exotic travelers far away from home. Of course, the German media, for the most part, ignores that. Some articles you see that are mentioning that, but most of them they say we don't know really what happened, and it doesn't matter anyway. But what else is new in Greece? So they have now just a couple kilometers away on the same island. They have now erected a camp of tents that can house or accommodate up to 5,000 people. And so far, only 1,000 could be convinced to go into that camp. Well, the reason is, of course, very simple. They don't want to stay on that island. This is why they torched the first camp. Yeah, they want to go to Germany and they don't want to go to that camp. But the Greek authorities now say that they have to go there. It's not a question of what they want. They have to comply. Otherwise, they will use force. Now, I really want to see that. But if you ask me, well, they're not forced to stay in Greece either. I mean, they can just go home. Yeah, they all have home countries, and most of these countries are, well, safe, or at least as safe as they are accustomed to. So there is absolutely no reason for them to stay in Europe. Yeah, they can just go home. And I think they should be free to go home. Yeah? But yeah, now everybody acts like, oh, why don't they wanna go to that camp? What's wrong with that camp? Well, it's pretty obvious, right? I mean, they of course want to go to Germany. So, but what is the German reaction now to that? So, as I told you, as if it was rehearsed in the very beginning when that happened, German NGOs, German leftist parties, and the usual suspects were already saying Germany has to do something. Germany has to be the country that takes the lead. We owe it to these people. It was never explained to me what we owe them and why that is. But okay, so apparently we have to take them in now because reasons. And so now the German government has, or well, let's say, that was a funny mistake I just made. No, the union parties. That means Angela Merkel's CDU and Mr. Söder's CSU from Bavaria. The union parties, the center left, formerly center right, cuck parties. Yeah, they proposed now a suggestion to the Social Democrats, to their coalition partner. And they said 1,500 people should go to Germany, of these 13,000, but only those who already have a positive response to their claim for asylum in Europe. So, or in Greece, I should say, because let's not forget, little interjection here, these people entered the EU in Greece. That means, according to EU law and contracts like the Dublin agreements and so on, they have to stay in that country where they first entered. And that is Greece, okay? And there is no European distribution mechanism, doesn't exist. Yeah, if they enter Germany on a ship in Bremen or Rostock or Hamburg, yeah, maybe then we're responsible. But if they enter with a boat and land on the shores of Greece, yeah, we're not responsible, okay? Um, that is just common, or this is just the current European legal situation. And as I said, these migrants, of course, they break our laws by coming here in the first place. It's illegal. Then they lie, they throw away their papers, they lie about their nationality, about their age, about everything. And then they torch camps, and then they want to go to Germany, right? But of course, Angela Merkel also breaks the law by allowing these people to come because it's illegal. They shouldn't be in Germany. It's against the law. Yeah, they cannot be in Germany. But of course, the law is broken thousands of times by them in that respect every day anyway. So what's 1,500 more, right? And you know, of course, 1,500 of these people now means three times that amount later when they want to bring their families after them, of course. So, but this number can only go up because let's go back, let's close the loop now. They made a suggestion to the Social Democrats and they want to increase that number. They say now, so now this, it's kind of a game of good cop and bad cop. It's kind of a theater play that a stage play that they enact here for the public. It's like the union parties, Angela Merkel, Mr. Söder, they say, oh, we don't want to take them, but compromise, yeah, let's take 1,500. And then the lefties say, oh, that is not enough. We need more. These people are suffering. How can you be so cold-hearted? At least 5,000, if not 10,000. And then, oh, compromise, maybe 7,000. Yeah, this is how they do it now. And in the end, we will take them all, of course. But this is this cheap theater play, and I mean, I cannot see how any German can still believe that and really, oh, Angela Merkel, I mean, she tried to keep the number low, but the evil social democrats, they pressured her and then she reluctantly had to take it more. No, seriously, I mean, how can anybody still believe that? And the CSU from Bavaria, they're the worst because they have a much more conservative image than Angela Merkel's party, but they in the end they support every one of these policies, each and every one. They have never even once have they yeah have they blocked something or said, well, we leave the coalition if you do that. This is a hard no, a red line in the sand or something, you know. They have never done that ever. They always make a lot of noise in the beginning, and our country has reached the limits of the capacity, but in the end, they just sign everything. They say yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, each and every time. They're the worst, and I think this is just a cheap stage play. As I said, it's a theatrical performance. Good cop, bad cop. In the end, they all want the same thing, and they just have their role to play and their reputation and their they have their electorate that they have to satisfy. Like the more left wing parties, they have to always demand a little more migration and a little more welfare, and the center-right parties, they have to demand a little less. But in the end, I think they all have agreed on it beforehand already where the compromise in the end will be. At least they know it roughly, and it is all a big it's not smoke and mirrors, but it's really like a stage play that they perform for decades already. And they all have their assigned roles, and that's what they do now. And as I said, I mean, if really somebody in Germany is still like super partisan CDU and says, "Oh, those evil Green Party guys," I mean, that is just pathetic. It's on an intellectual level, it's just pathetic. If you ask me, I think they're all in the same club. They're all in the end the same party, and they all want the same thing. Um, they want more of these people to come to Germany, and everyone that comes means that you will not have an appointment with a doctor because they will have an appointment with the doctor. You pay for the doctor. You will not be able to find housing for a reasonable price because they get these apartments and these houses. And who pays for it? Of course, the German state. And who funds the German state? You, the German taxpayer. And yeah, your children, they will not grow up in peace and safety, and your grandchildren will not be able to live in a secure, stable country. It will be horrible. Yeah. And maybe your grandchildren will not be even born because your children cannot afford it. And you know, Germans, Europeans, Northern people, they don't make babies when they don't feel that they can feed them, when they think it's not safe. Other cultures are very different in that regard. They make babies anyway, even though, I mean, they don't even think, oh, can we feed them? Or do we have a job? Or how are we going to feed 5 children? They don't care. They just make babies and then they look and complain and then they find someone else to take care of them, right? Um, and this is why, with every one of them that we take in, less of us will be born in the future, and the resources, the capacity is just not there. And even if you find an apartment, you know, it will be a more expensive apartment because the welfare apartments, which otherwise would be just affordable housing for young families, they're already occupied, they're already gone, they're off the market because the German state is um, yeah, renting them out, quote unquote, yeah, to these strangers, and they use our tax money with that. So there you go. Our taxes go up, the available apartments become less, and the ones that are available are in a higher price bracket. Yeah, and then these leftists complain about gentrification. That is so funny. Yeah? So, to sum it up, the German reaction is Mr. Markus Söder from Bavaria says, "Oh, it is our Christian duty to take these people." This guy has no idea about Christianity, probably has never read the Bible. It doesn't say, give all your money to your enemies. Yeah, it doesn't say so. And um, also, the countless German victims that are well documented, yeah, and every day new victims are produced. Yeah, uh, he never said anything about them. He never helped them. He was never there for them. He was never visiting them at the hospital bed. He never gave his condolences at any funeral. He doesn't care about the German victims. Yeah. So where is the Christianity in that? Yeah, and not only the German victims, of course, the other European victims too. Yeah, because these people that Germany brings in, of course, they might diffuse into other neighboring nations and they do nasty things there. And who's responsible for that? Who do you think? Of course, it's Mr. Söder, Mr. Seehofer, Mrs. Merkel, Frau Esken, yeah, all these people. They're all responsible. But of course, they never talk about that. They never even acknowledge that. They just say this doesn't exist. There are no victims, no German victims. Oh, that can, in and of itself, theoretically impossible that such a thing even exists in the first place. Germans are never victims, right? And maybe other Europeans by extension, by the same logic. All right, so that became a little general now, this video in the end, but okay, so the irregular travelers. They refuse the new accommodation that was found for them after this camp was lost tragically to the flames of coincidence, maybe. And then, yeah, Germany now will take many of them. The number is not really settled yet, but I told you it is a good cop, bad cop game, and I'm sure it will be more than 1,500. And already the Green Party said that only taking those who have a positive claim or a valid. I don't think it's valid, but the powers that be say their claim is valid for asylum, right? And the Green Party now says that you cannot just take those ones. You cannot just pick the ones that you like. You have to take all of them. Otherwise, it's not humanitarian enough or humanist enough or something like that. Yeah, absolutely crazy. So the Green Party says we should take people who have no right to be in Europe in the first place. Those are the ones we should take. Yeah, all right. I mean, I don't think I have to comment any further on that, right? Okay, so I hope I could inform you about what happened in Greece, how Germany responded, and I think I went a little further today and also told you about some common mechanisms and patterns that exist for decades already, and probably longer than that, in German, but not only in German, politics. Take care. Servus, Kameraden.